Hey everyone, welcome back to another RealmSmith painting tutorial. This is Hank. He's going to be my, was that a high five? He's going to be my assistant for this tutorial. We haven't done a crafting tutorial in a while, so we wanted to come back with something super cool for you. My players will be heading over to Waterdeep, and they'll be visiting the Yawning Portal Inn. And no Yawning Portal Inn would be complete without a Yawning Portal. And so what we've done is we've created this bottomless pit prop from an infinity mirror. So as you can see, it's only about 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick, but then it looks like it's bottomless. Strap in. Here we go.
First thing we're going to need is a 4-inch mirror. Round in shape. I actually found one as part of a frame at a local dollar store. And then I got a set of 3 round boxes. I then put the round mirror on the bottom of the larger box, and I traced a circle around it. Next step was to trace a smaller circle within that box, and basically what this is it's going to be the lip of the top of the pit. I then cut out that smaller circle with a utility knife. I then grabbed one of our tea lights and I popped the backing off it with a little screwdriver to reveal the internal parts. Removed the plastic flame from the top, which we'll need for later, and then trimmed off all the excess plastic on the side of the base. Be careful not to cut into any of the vital parts of the tea light. I took the little plastic flame part from the top of the tea light and I just cut off the tip of it with my utility knife. And I just wanted to test to make sure that the light still worked. Then once again, taking the bottom of the largest box, I put the new trimmed tea light into the inside of it just to measure the depth that the pit is going to be. And then I marked a little line under it to make sure that we have a safe zone. Then I took a ruler and I measured that distance, made sure to take note of it, and then made little marks along the inside perimeter of the box. Then I connected all the marks with a straight line. Then, being mindful not to cut myself, I used the utility knife to cut the box in half along the line I drew. And then I just took my scissors and cleaned up the edge. Make sure you have a sharp utility knife. Mine was a little dull at this point. I then took the smaller box, placed it inside the larger one, and then marked a line. I then cut along that line, once again mindful not to cut myself, and cut that box in half as well so that I had a ring left over. I then just test fit the inner box just to make sure it fit right. And shaped it a little bit more. Then put my lid on just to see how it all fit together. Then I took my hot glue gun, added some to the back of the mirror, and then stuck it to the lid of the larger box. I then took the ring that was created by cutting the smaller box in half, and I hot glued that to the lid of the larger box, which is now the base of our bottomless pit. I then just made some marks of where I wanted the tea lights to poke through. I went around then and used my hole punch. I have a leather punch that I use for this sort of thing. Makes a nice clean hole. And I went around and I made 4 holes. I took a pencil and just made that hole a little bit bigger. I then placed my tea light through the hole and hot glued it in place. I then repeated those steps 3 more times. A lot of the online tutorials I found for infinity mirrors called for plexiglass, but plexiglass can be a little costly, and so all I used was the front of a blister pack. I then took my cut sheet of plastic and placed it on a window film. It's a privacy window film that has a mirror on either side with a little bit of tint. I then mixed some dish soap and some water and then applied that soapy water to the plastic. I then peeled off the backing on the film to reveal its adhesive side and then placed that onto the plastic. Then I simply just use a straight edge to work out all the bubbles. Then grabbing the trimmed plastic flame piece from the tea light, I used hot glue to recreate a flame effect on it, using the tip to kind of mold the flames as I went, and then used a bit of a tail to trail off to create that smoky flame effect. I then hot glued all of the tips back onto the tea lights within the inner ring. Then with some thin craft foam that you find at a local craft store or art supply store, I cut long strips. I then took those craft strips and cut them into rectangles of various lengths to use as bricks and stonework for the lip of the pit. Because it's important for the bricks to go wrap all the way around the lip or the edge of the pit, I applied a bead of glue and then on the end placed the foam onto the lip. I did a number at a time because by the time they dried they were ready to be folded over. I then creased each strip and then added some hot glue to the backside and folded it over and waited till it dried. I then rounded the ends off for a little variation in the stonework. And with some hot glue, I adhered the rest of each stone to the box lid. After filling all the leftover spaces with smaller random bricks that I cut, I gave the whole thing a solid coat of Modge Podge. This will strengthen the foam and help the paint adhere to all of it. Once the Modge Podge was dry, I then base coated the entire piece in a flat black craft paint. Once the black was dry, I took a medium gray craft paint. Here I have a Liquitex paint. It's an acrylic, and with a dry brush technique, which is when you load your brush and then wipe most of it off onto a paper towel, so only a little bit of paint is left on the brush. I went around the whole piece, brushing lightly to apply the gray. I then went ahead and used an off-white color, almost like a cream color, just on the edges with a dry brush technique as a final highlight. Once all the dry brush highlights were all dry, I then took a brown colored paint, a bit of a rusty kind of color, watered it down a lot, and then applied a generous wash of that color just to mute those gray tones, give it more of an earthy feel. Then the final step was to hot glue the plastic with the window tint on it to the inside of the top of the pit. I found that I also needed to reinforce the plastic with a little bit of glue on top. Here's a final look at the Yawning Portal Bottomless pit.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. We just hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube and 400 likes on Facebook. That's all because of you guys. We couldn't do this without you. So make sure to spread the word, to like and subscribe on YouTube, as well as hit that little bell icon to be notified of when new videos are released. As well, like and follow us on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. Check us out. We'll see you soon.